In previous episode, we have sorted out the turbo, the oil leak, the ignition lock, and we were so close to getting the car up and running again after the 20 odd years that it's been off the road. And we came close, but we had issues with the fuel supply again. So let's crack on with that. I have ordered a brand new oil turbo. I've ordered a brand new fuel pump, and also wanted to add different power supply for it. So let's add the relay and get it all sorted out. Well, here's the fuel hanger out of the S13. The pump does look like it's been replaced at some point. Well, it obviously has, but it does look somewhat interesting. I think it's been in the car for a long time, so it may have been corroded or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But here is my replacement one. It looks same, if I'm honest. Well, it does look exactly the same. Well, it looks exactly the same, which is good. I have checked the plug is one that comes with the kit, and it already has been adapted to it, so that's good. So I'm going to quickly swap it out. Additional relay for running fuel pump. I wanted to use one of these. I used them on the Supra. Basically, they have a built-in fuse, nice and compact, and no need for additional fuses like this. Just makes it a nicer install. However, this one, I think I burnt it somehow at some point, but I tested it and it doesn't click, so that goes into the bin. Then I found another relay. Luckily, I have plenty of them, and I found a fuse connection like this. Currently, it's a 30 amp, but I'm going to change it to 20 or even a 15. And then I had to nip out and buy I think it's 2.5mm cable. That's 4 meters, and I was going to run from the battery to the relay. And then we have a ground cable, which is pin there, and then we have a switch 12 volts. I've put a red heat shrink on it to indicate its power, essentially. That's switched, and there's going to be signal from this plug, essentially, or the other side of this plug. And then we have another cable, which is going to feed the pump. So I'm going to go ahead and feed that in the car, and then modify the wiring slightly and wire 2 of the cables in. Well, tap into the original wiring loom, and hopefully, well, that looks lame. And hopefully that's going to be it with the fuel pump saga, and we're going to get some pressure. Alright guys, I want to be 100% transparent and open about, the struggles and the successes of anything. And right now, I do understand that YouTube videos are meant to be fun, entertaining, oh hey, I've done this, I've done that, look at this great progress. But the reality is that's not always the case, and I'm in that sort of situation. Currently, I am trying to get this S13 running, and I've sorted out the fuel situation. I've got a new pump, it's wired off a relay, there's, the fuel supply is fine. However, I cannot get the car running. It's got spark, it's got fuel, obviously it's got air, and it just doesn't want to run. Puffs every now and again, so there's combustion of some sort, but I just cannot get it to run. So I just want to be 100% clear and open about, how sometimes stuff works, or doesn't work in this case. I'm going to pull out all the plugs, measure compression. I'm going to do a lot of work off the camera, behind the scenes, and try to get this piece of shit running, because it's really doing my head in. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of come on here and say that, it's not always about success, and sometimes you just have to just work through it and not be under the impression that, life is not like YouTube. You got plenty of failures and stuff like that, but you just got to learn from them and plow on. That's 13 bar, and it was like under 4, so 9 bar, so that's decent compression. Well, after many different tries to figure out why the hell this S13 doesn't want to fire up, I have completely removed the igniter. I have fitted some Toyota Yaris coil packs, same ones as I run on the Supra. I have replaced the fuel filter. I have fed the fuel directly from like a 5 litre jug into the fuel rail. I have checked that I haven't mixed up the fuel lines to return in the feed. I swapped them, and obviously that was even worse. I got the car running on like 2.5 cylinders for a few times, and just nothing seems to work. I tried different ECU, same thing, and I'm quite close to end of the ideas. And a few people suggested trying easy starts, and I bought some today. Today's like 27th of December, Saturday, and let me show you this. So a Ghetto fuel feed, direct power from the ECU, return into 5 litres, 5 litre jug there. So I have stripped out the boat, all the plastics in the boat, and now I've decided to remove the spoiler just to kind of see whether the boat is beyond being salvageable. I haven't done all the bolts, I think, so let's see. All right, that is coming off. Ooh. Oh my god! Wow. It may not be beyond being salvageable. This spoiler is heavy as well. In some respects, it's worse than I thought, and in some, it's better. All I wanted to do is to take it off, really, to make it watertight. Wow. Literally every single place where there was a bolt, that even didn't want to come out. Obviously, the water must have just been sat here. But this area is more solid than I thought, so maybe I can cut this section out, make a new panel. This might be a fairly straightforward new panel. There's a bit of a lip here, so I don't know how I would deal with that apart from filler. Knowing me, I will most likely make an attempt to repair it because it won't cost me anything but time. And finding a replacement replacement boot is quite difficult. So I think once the car's in the garage, I will give it a go. The structural parts seem to be fine. Obviously, I will try to find a replacement boot if I can, but I've not really seen many for sale. All the ones I've seen are like half of what I paid for the car, so it doesn't really make sense. So now that the car is running again, at least for now, I know that there are other things I can be getting on with, and what I really want to do is to make sure that the heater works and maybe some other things. So basically check out the electrical side of the things within the interior, because I do have another dash that I might swap over, so I just want to make sure stuff works before I put everything back together essentially. But I do want to clear this interior out and give the carpet a clean. I'm going to order some fabric paint as well and get this carpet painted black essentially, unless I can get it really cleaned out. So basically enough talking, let's get to it. Interior strip out is all underway. I took the seat out, which was fairly straightforward, just 4 bolts. I've tested the heater and it doesn't work. Luckily I have a spare one and it does work. However, this hot to cold seems to be seized, so I need to find where it goes, and it looks like it goes somewhere under there. So it might be the case that I have to remove the entire heater, which wouldn't be that great. But for now, I think I can just swap over this motor, which is fairly straightforward, I believe. Just 4 bolts, 3 bolts even. And that'll be one issue solved. And then I just need to figure out what's going on with this. And hopefully it's going to be fairly straightforward to fix. So let's get to it. Well, the interior clean out turned out to be a complete strip out. So managed to remove the heater matrix, and I'm not actually sure if I filmed why, but this is the old one. Now let me get it right way up. So there's a flap that basically controls whether you want heat coming in or out. Well, that sounded wrong, but basically that controls whether you want heat going in or you don't. And essentially, this has seized. This seems fine by itself, but this flap, I tried to spray WD-40 on it and it's seized. Managed to get a bit of movement, but not that much. Whereas with this, literally can move it with one finger. Also, I remember that I do need to remove the carpet, so kind of removing the heater kind of works out all right, because I don't have to cut the carpet, because obviously with the heater being in place, I wouldn't be able to remove that section, I don't think. So I've removed as little as possible to get me most access, and I think it's looking good. I will collect all the bolts and nuts into a single little jar or something and hoover out the carpet again and spend some time cleaning it, I suppose. Probably going to be another day for me, because it is getting dark and I need to get all the stuff somewhere, probably back in the car. So yeah, probably going to be next day for me cleaning all this. So after the last clip, when I thought I'm going to pack up, I was like, I'm going to take the carpet out. So as you can see, the carpet is all out. So I think I've stripped as much as I need. Good thing to see is that the floors are solid. There's obviously a few spots of rust, but it looks like just the paint is flaking off. So the plan is to rub it down, put some rust preventative thing on, and then just brush on some paints just to kind of stop it spreading. Same thing for here. Obviously there might be some rust underneath between the metals, but that's not something I'm planning on dealing personally. But apart from that, the floors are solid, so that's brilliant. So now that the carpet is out, I can probably pressure wash it, hoover it again and whatnot, just kind of deal with that. And gonna order some paint as well. I've seen some flexible black paint, so just gonna go with that. There's no chance I'm getting that rust off from the carpet. I have tried with a brush and a drill. It's just not shifting it at all. So yeah, good progress so far. I'm pretty happy that the floors are solid because I didn't want to be cutting them, welding them and whatnot. But yeah, the car is turning out to be pretty much as good as I was expecting, so that's always good. And on that note, I think I'm going to end this episode. It's probably a shorter one, but pretty positive. Sorted out the fuel pump, put a new pump in. I have actually tried to use the old pump again when I was trying to get the car running, and it was running for a bit, that pump, and then it seized up again. So definitely something wrong with that pump. So yeah, replace the fuel pump, wired in a separate relay for the pump. I just need to finish up the wiring, which I'm going to do off camera probably. Coal pack conversion, that's a big one. Not much information online how to do it, but it turns out pretty simple, and I'll probably cover it a bit more in the next video when the wiring is all pinned up and whatnot. Interior strip down, heater fixed. So yeah, plenty of progress. Hopefully by the time I release the next video, I'll have the last few interior bits sorted out. That'll be good to see. So you never know, the next video might be full complete interior. That'll be really good. Obviously depends on weather and whatnot. But yeah, good progress. Gonna keep at it, gonna try to spend as much time as I can and get the car sorted as soon as possible. But at the same time, I need to finish the exhaust on the Supra. I bought myself a TIG welder, so I'm kind of learning with how to TIG weld, and then I can finish the exhaust, and then at that point the Supra should be able to go where the S13 is. And once that is done, obviously S13 is going to go in garage. I'm going to start with welding and whatnot. But obviously, plans for the future, you will see everything in the videos. So if you don't want to miss the progress and you don't trust the algorithm, click subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Help me out a little bit and helps me to promote my content. So thank you for watching. Have a good one and happy 2026.